Welcome, dear brothers, to the analysis of the Watchtower Study week of August 10th, 2026, a video in which, through practical and brief questions and answers that don't exceed 30 seconds, we will analyze this week's Bible study. Without further ado, let's get started.
Theme: we can remain loyal to Jehovah no matter what tests of faith we face. Theme text: John capítulo 6, versículo 68, Lord, whom shall we go away to? You have sayings of everlasting life. 1, 2. What happened while Jesus was teaching in Capernaum? Answer 1. While Jesus was teaching in Capernaum, he explained that his disciples had to eat his flesh and drink his blood in order to gain everlasting life. Many did not try to understand the meaning of his words but considered them offensive and decided to stop following him. Answer 2. Shortly before, those disciples had seen one of Jesus' miracles and had recognized that he was the promised prophet. Yet when they heard something difficult to understand, their faith was not strong enough. The test revealed that their confidence in Jesus was still superficial. Answer 3. John capítulo 6, versículo 60 says that many reacted by saying, "This speech is shocking." Instead of humbly waiting for an explanation, they allowed a first negative impression to draw them away from Jesus. This teaches us that genuine faith cannot depend solely on understanding everything right away. 3. How did the apostles react to Jesus' words, and why? Answer 1. The apostles reacted very differently. Although they did not fully understand what Jesus had just said either, they did not abandon him. Their loyalty did not depend on understanding every detail but on being convinced of who Jesus was and that Jehovah was backing him. Answer 2. John capítulo 6, versículo 68, 69 records Peter's reply, "Whom shall we go away to? You have sayings of everlasting life." The apostles had confirmed that Jesus was the Holy One of God. So one difficult teaching did not cancel out all the evidence they already had that they could trust him. Answer 3. The apostles did not pretend to understand everything, nor did they react impulsively. They relied on a truth that was already firmly established: Jesus was the Christ sent by Jehovah. That foundation allowed them to wait patiently until they understood his words better. 4. What situations can test our loyalty to Jehovah? Answer 1. A test may come when the organization adjusts the explanation of a scripture or changes some method of preaching. If we were very used to the previous explanation, we may find it hard to adapt and need humility and patience to examine the new information. Answer 2. Our loyalty may also be tested when Jehovah allows us to suffer something painful that we do not understand. At such times we might wonder why he does not step in. The test is to keep trusting in his love even though we do not yet know the reason for what has happened. Answer 3. Another test may be that a beloved brother hurts us or that a respected person treats us unfairly. The danger would be to confuse the imperfections of a person with the way Jehovah acts. Our friendship with God should not depend on the perfect conduct of other humans. Answer 1. A building located in an earthquake zone needs very strong foundations. In a similar way, we live in a world that constantly shakes our faith. If our convictions are superficial, a disappointment, a doubt, or an injustice could cause us to collapse spiritually. Answer 2. Colossians capítulo 1, versículo 23 encourages us to continue in the faith, established on the foundation and not being shifted away from the hope. So it is not enough to accept the truth as a family tradition, we need to verify personally why we believe in Jehovah, in the Bible, and in his organization. Answer 3. Foundations are laid before the earthquake comes, not during the tremor. Likewise, we must strengthen our convictions now through study, meditation, and prayer. That way, when an unexpected test arises, we will have solid reasons to keep being loyal. 6. What helped the apostles to remain loyal to Jesus? Answer 1. They were helped by being fully convinced of several fundamental truths. They knew that Jehovah deserved their worship as the Creator, that Jesus was his Son, and that his words could lead them to everlasting life. No difficult teaching could erase that evidence. Answer 2, they were also sure that Jesus had Jehovah's full backing. They had seen his miracles, heard his teachings, and observed his qualities. So even if they did not understand something right away, they trusted that the correct explanation would come in due time. Answer 3, their example teaches us to build our faith on deep truths, not on emotions or favorable circumstances. The article highlights 3, Jehovah is the Creator, he inspired the Bible, and he backs his people. Being convinced of these can sustain us through any test. 7a. What does Revelation capítulo 4, versículo 11 remind us? Answer 1, Revelation capítulo 4, versículo 11 reminds us that Jehovah deserves to receive the glory, the honor, and the power because he created all things. Our worship does not depend on how easy our life is, we owe it to him because he is the source of life and the sovereign of the universe. Answer 2, meditating on creation also strengthens our confidence in his power. If Jehovah was able to create the universe, the earth, and life, he has more than enough ability to rescue us from any test and to fulfill each one of his promises. Answer 3, the text says that all things exist by Jehovah's will. This shows that our existence has a purpose and is not the product of an accident. Knowing that we come from a loving Creator gives us a firm basis for trusting his guidance even when we go through difficulties. 7b. What could happen to us if we are not absolutely convinced? Answer 1. If we are not convinced that Jehovah is the Creator, the world's atheistic or evolutionary ideas could weaken us. At first they might seem like mere intellectual doubts, but in time they could make us question his love, his standards, and his promises as well. Answer 2, Hebrews capítulo 11, versículo 6 explains that whoever approaches God must believe that he exists and that he rewards those earnestly seeking him. If that conviction weakens, we could stop praying with confidence or think that Jehovah cannot help us during a test. Answer 3, doubts about the existence of God could erode the entire foundation of our faith. That is why we should not treat them as something unimportant. It is better to face them honestly, do research, and look for evidence before they grow and affect our relationship with Jehovah. 8-9. What should you do if you begin to doubt that Jehovah exists? Answer 1, you should act at once and look for information that examines the evidence of creation. Our publications contain brochures, books, articles, and videos that explain the design of living things and of the universe. Researching with an open mind can turn a doubt into a deeper conviction. Answer 2, Romans capítulo 1, versículo 20 says that God's invisible qualities are clearly seen from the things made. So besides reading information, we can carefully observe nature and ask ourselves what its order, complexity, and beauty reveal about Jehovah's power and personality. Answer 3, even if we have already read publications about creation, it can be very useful to review them. Our faith needs maintenance. Besides, studying these arguments not only strengthens us but also prepares us to respectfully help fellow believers or relatives who also have doubts. 10. What do we think of the Bible? Answer 1, we consider the Bible the most important book because it contains Jehovah's message for humankind. It explains to us how life began, why we exist, why we suffer, and what we must do to enjoy a friendship with our Creator. Answer 2, 2 Timothy capítulo 3, versículo 16, 17 says that all Scripture is inspired of God and beneficial for teaching, for reproving, for setting things straight, and for disciplining. So we do not view it as a merely historical book but as a living guide able to prepare us for every good work. Answer 3, because we recognize that Jehovah is its author, we do not merely read it superficially. We make an effort to understand it, meditate on it, and apply it. Even when a Bible counsel does not match our desires, we trust that it reflects a wisdom greater than our own. 11. What convinces you that the Bible is inspired by God? Answer 1. I am convinced by its historical and scientific accuracy. Although it is not a history or science book, when it mentions rulers, places, or aspects of nature, it does so precisely. That would be hard to explain if it were merely a collection of ancient human ideas. Answer 2. Its unity also impresses me. It was written by about 40 men over roughly 1,600 years, and even so it develops a coherent message about Jehovah's purpose. Its writers lived in very different times and circumstances, yet they do not contradict one another in their essential teachings. Answer 3. Joshua capítulo 23, versículo 14 stresses that not one of all the good promises of Jehovah failed to come true. Fulfilled Bible prophecies, together with the lasting usefulness of its counsel, prove that the Bible has an origin far superior to the human. 12. What should we do if we are not sure that the Bible is inspired by God? Answer 1. We should pray sincerely and then act in harmony with our prayers. We can identify exactly what makes us doubt and look for reliable information about that matter. Jehovah is not offended by a sincere question. He wants us to build a reasoned, personal faith. Answer 2. We can examine the historical, scientific, and prophetic evidence of the Bible and see the effect its principles have had on people's lives. Doing research does not show a lack of faith, it can help us turn an inherited belief into a conviction of our own. Answer 3. 1 Corinthians capítulo 3, versículo 12, 13 reminds us that the quality of what we build will end up being tested. That is why we need a faith made of durable materials, not of mere assumptions. Resolving doubt strengthens the foundation that will sustain us during future tests. 13. What should we do if we begin to doubt that Jehovah's Witnesses have God's backing? Answer 1. We should act at once and examine the evidence objectively. We can ask ourselves which organization really makes the effort to base all its beliefs on the Bible, to live by its standards, and to do Jehovah's will throughout the world. Answer 2. Matthew capítulo 7, versículo 20, 21 says that people are recognized by their fruits and that it is not enough to call Jesus Lord, one must do the Father's will. So we should evaluate the spiritual results and not be swayed merely by accusations or isolated experiences. Answer 3. It is also good to remember that Jehovah's people are made up of imperfect individuals. A human error, even a painful one, does not automatically prove that God has abandoned the entire organization. We must distinguish between individual imperfections and the clear evidence of divine direction. 14. How are Jehovah's Witnesses fulfilling the words of Matthew capítulo 24, versículo 14? Answer 1. We are announcing the good news of the kingdom throughout the world, just as Jesus foretold. This work is not limited to a few countries, nor does it depend on one particular culture. Brothers of all kinds share in unity in bringing the same message to millions of people. Answer 2. Matthew capítulo 24, versículo 14 foretold that the good news of the kingdom would be preached in all the inhabited earth before the end came. The fact that the preaching is carried out in more than 240 lands and territories shows the scope and international nature of this work. Answer 3. For over a century, Jehovah's people have not lost sight of their main mission, to preach and make disciples. The methods have changed over time, but the central message is still God's kingdom. That constancy is evidence of Jehovah's backing. 15. How do Jehovah's Witnesses contribute to sanctifying God's name? Answer 1. We contribute by making Jehovah's name known and teaching what it really stands for. At a time when many people are unaware of God's name, we feel honored to use it respectfully and to help others come to know His personality. Answer 2. At Matthew capítulo 6, versículo 9, Jesus taught us to pray for His Father's name to be sanctified. So it is not enough to pronounce it, we must defend his reputation, explain that he is not responsible for suffering, and live in a way that brings honor to that name. Answer 3. Isaiah capítulo 43, versículo 10 calls God's people his witnesses. Our very name clearly identifies whom we represent. Moreover, the New World Translation has restored the name Jehovah to thousands of places where it belongs, helping readers to draw close to God personally. 16. Why do we say that Jehovah's Witnesses are fulfilling what John capítulo 13, versículo 34-35 says? Answer 1. Because, despite coming from very different countries, cultures, and backgrounds, we make an effort to treat one another as a family. In a world full of racial, political, and national divisions, our unity and our sincere affection attract much attention. Answer 2. John capítulo 13, versículo 34-35 says that Jesus' true disciples would be recognized by the love they have among themselves. That love is shown in actions. We help brothers affected by disasters, warmly welcome visitors, and support one another during illness and persecution. Answer 3. When we visit a congregation in another city or country, we usually feel right away that we are among brothers. Even if we know no one, we share the same beliefs, values, and hope. This worldwide unity is powerful evidence that Jehovah is backing his people. 17-18. What situations can test us, but what can we say? Answer 1. We could be tested by decisions of the organization that we do not fully understand, by the hurtful conduct of a brother, or by a painful situation that we do not know how to resolve. At such times we must avoid impulsive decisions and remember everything we already know about Jehovah. Answer 2. 2 Timothy capítulo 3, versículo 1-13 warned that the last days would be critical and that wicked people would go from bad to worse. So we should not be surprised to face difficult situations. Tests do not mean that Jehovah has abandoned us or that the truth has stopped being the truth. Answer 3. If we are convinced that Jehovah is the Creator, that the Bible is His Word, and that He backs His people, we will be able to echo Peter's thought, "Whom shall we go away to?" We may not yet understand all that has happened, but we know that only Jehovah offers sayings of everlasting life. Comment 1. The picture presents a sharp contrast. Many walk away because they did not understand a teaching, while Peter and the other apostles remain with Jesus. It helps us to ask ourselves which side we will be on when something tests our faith. Comment 2. The apostles do not stay because they have all the answers but because they know who Jesus is. In a similar way, in a test we may not understand every detail, but our basic convictions can keep us from making a hasty decision. Comment 3. It is also significant that Jesus allowed those who so decided to leave. He did not soften the teaching to hold on to them. This shows that true loyalty must spring from faith and love, not from following the majority or from listening only to what pleases us. Comment 1. The picture brings together a wide variety of examples: the water cycle, the planet, the solar system, and various living things. This variety shows that the evidence of design is not limited to a single field, it appears both in the universe and in earthly processes and organisms. Comment 2. Some human designs have been inspired by animals, such as certain vehicles or aircraft. That raises a logical question: if we recognize intelligence behind a human imitation, why deny that the far more complex structure of the animal also reflects intelligence? Comment 3. The sister does not merely admire the pictures but studies and meditates. This teaches us that strengthening our faith takes time and effort. Observing creation attentively can help us come to know not only Jehovah's power but also His wisdom and creativity. Comment 1. The sister and her daughter are glad to recognize some brothers preaching, even though they probably do not know them personally. That reaction reflects the worldwide unity of Jehovah's people. Anywhere we can find a spiritual family. Comment 2. The publication card identifies the brothers by the same work that is carried out internationally. The method is simple, but the message is the same in many languages and countries. That coordination supports the idea that Jehovah is directing his people. Comment 3. The girl watches her mother's joy and learns to value the brotherhood. This reminds parents that they can strengthen their children's faith by showing enthusiasm when they find evidence of worldwide unity and preaching. Answer 1. Knowing that Jehovah is the Creator reminds us that He deserves our worship regardless of our circumstances. His right to direct us does not disappear because we are suffering or because we do not yet understand a situation. Answer 2. It also gives us confidence in His power. The one who created the universe can sustain us during any test, correct every injustice, and fulfill His promise to remove suffering for good. Answer 3. Moreover, creation shows that Jehovah is wise, generous, and loving. Meditating on those qualities keeps us from interpreting a temporary difficulty as proof that He has stopped caring about us. Answer 1. This truth gives us a reliable point of reference when our feelings are stirred up. We may not know how to react, but we can look for Bible principles that help us think calmly and not act impulsively. Answer 2. The accuracy, the unity, and the fulfilled prophecies of the Bible strengthen our confidence in its future promises. If Jehovah kept His word in the past, He will also fulfill everything He has promised about our rescue. Answer 3. 2 Timothy capítulo 3, versículo 16, 17 shows that the Scriptures can teach us, correct us, and equip us. Even a painful test can reveal an aspect of our thinking that needs to be adjusted with the help of the Bible. Answer 1. This truth keeps us from letting one human imperfection erase all the evidence of Jehovah's backing. We can recall the worldwide preaching, the sanctifying of His name, and the international love of the brotherhood. Answer 2. It also assures us that we do not face tests alone. Jehovah uses the congregation and the organization to provide us with teaching, encouragement, and practical help when we need it most. Answer 3. John capítulo 13, versículo 35 indicates that love identifies Jesus' disciples. Seeing that love in action confirms to us that we have found Jehovah's people and gives us powerful reasons to remain loyal, even when a difficulty arises that we do not yet understand.
Thank you very much for your time. If you liked it, subscribe to our channel, share this video, and give it a like. See you in the next video.